In proof number 14, I'm trying to find that angle BAD is congruent to angle CAD. First, I identify where those two angles are. Now, I'm marking them in purple so I don't forget that those are what I'm trying to prove, not what I understand. Everything that I do know, I'm going to mark in green. So I start with my given information. AB is congruent to AC, and D is the midpoint of segment BC. Well, I'm looking at my given information. I know that if D is the midpoint, then BD and DC are the same. And then I recognize that AD is reflexive to itself in both of these triangles on the left and right, triangle ABD and ACD. So I know that these two triangles are congruent by side, side, side. And if those two triangles are congruent by side, 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 then I should be able to mark these two angles are the same, because if the two triangles are the same, then all of their parts are going to match up. So now I need to write down in my proof everything that I just marked and figured out. So I started by marking that BD and DC were the same, so I need to mark that in my proof as a statement. BD is congruent to DC. Why? Because that's what the definition of midpoint tells me. It's going to cut those two things in half. And then the next thing that I marked was AD was congruent to itself, or it was reflexive. So AD is congruent to AD because of the reflexive property. And then if I look back at my proof, what I have is one set of sides, a second set of sides, and a third set of sides marked congruent in my proof, which means now I'm able to say that triangle ABD is congruent to the other triangle ACD because of the side-side-side relationship. And the whole goal now of proving that triangles are congruent is so I could take the parts that I want, angle BAD and angle CAD, which are part of those two congruent triangles, and say that they are also congruent. So angle BAD is congruent to angle CAD because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, which we're abbreviating CPCTC.